Thank you for staying tuned. Drop us a message. Reach out to us on social media. Let's get interactive. Let's come back into the studio with J.K Knowlife. He's our special guest on the afternoon. His real name, Adjei Kwesi Boateng. He's a Ghanaian novelist, publisher, and film director. And like I just found out a short while ago, pencil artist as well. This man... Okay, so one of the things he does is poetry. Verse. Yes, verse. So earlier on, he was reading from The Homecoming, which is actually prose. And you were telling me... J.K. Knowlife, that it's going to be out on Amazon soon?
Yeah. It's
The Homecoming.
Not later than the 5th of October. It will be on Amazon.
Not later than the 5th of October. So, okay, so you can actually be checking out on Amazon, looking for The Homecoming by J.K. Knowlife. Once it's there, you just click that button, place your order, get a copy. How much should people be looking at, when it comes to Amazon? How much, tentatively? Any ideas? Okay. I guess you will find out when it goes on. I just wanted people to maybe have a fair idea and start planning from their pockets as well. But I'll tell you about just how creative this gentleman is. While we were enjoying, that bit of music, Bolgatanga by Ochiame Kwame, and then listening to the Africa Daily, bit there, he was scripting a poem. So, is there a title for the poem you were working on in the background, tapping away at your laptop while I was here? I couldn't see what you were writing. Is there a title, and what is this poem?
The poem is about the threat of COVID-19 on humanity. Yeah,
right.
So, I'm just trying to tell COVID that we have seen worse than this before.
Right.
And evolution hasn't been easy. But we have survived over all these years. So this isn't going to be something that will stop humanity from keeping on. And we'll keep on and
we'll keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
Only recently I saw some people in masks all the way from 1918 when the Spanish, flu hit. And the writing under it was, there's nothing new under the sun. We've seen this before and we'll be there. And recently, one that I saw a placard, someone was holding a placard saying, okay, COVID, wrap it up now. It's all over, so time to wrap up. Okay, let's listen to what you've put together. What you put together just a few minutes ago.
Okay. Don't stop us with your snares. My great-great-grandfathers didn't die easy. They survived even the Black Death. They survived the Dark Ages. They survived wars, hate, and threats of extinction. They survived the continental drift, famines, and harsh nature of evolution. They have survived it all. Not COVID, when we have already done it all.
Not COVID, when we've already done it all. That's a nice one. And he just put that together, by the way. He just put it together. So it's all about the creativity, which is what we celebrate right here. How did all of this start for you? I've read bits about you're starting to write at age 17. I'd like you to corroborate or debunk that. Is that correct?
When I want to say I started writing at 17, we mean that the writings that I'm confident to publish.
Right.
Yeah, but if I want to talk about the ones that won't be published or I'm not too confident or work on later to publish, then I think it goes way back, because I for one never wrote application letter when we're doing English in school, because section A, they give you option to write application,
right,
or write a story which ends with had I known, or they give you one of these things.
You always went for the stories.
I always went for the stories. Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah, I always went for the stories, and I think it had been something I've done throughout up till now. And I remember in senior high, I was writing a series that I had my friends following, and I'm not going to go into it because it's not something.
Why not?
It's not something that now I saw the manuscript last time, and when I was reading through, I'm like, really, I couldn't believe myself.
Right, so glaring mistakes, things you wouldn't do now. Is that the reason?
Yes, and for you to really write well, you have to be informed.
Right.
And then I was little, so I didn't have much information than what my age gave me and my experiences my small experiences gave me. So I most of the things I think I even wrote weren't things that I even knew much about. As of now, I've seen a lot, and I know what I'm talking about when I'm writing.
Right.
Yeah.
For a
So
moment, I thought you were going to say you had seen the light. But that makes, it isn't just you. There are things I wrote from a long time ago, maybe 20 years ago, thereabouts, that I felt, oh, I'm going to put this into a book someday. I felt so good about them then. Not too recently, but there was a time when I was going through my archives and I saw some of these and I felt, did I really write that? That was not so. But anyway, it happens to the best of us. So, how far back then would you say? I mean, if not 17, at what age? 10, 9, 8?
I think around 11.
11.
Yeah, around 11.
Right. So you've been writing for quite a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how did it start for you in terms of background? What was the inspiration? Were you being read to as a child? How did you develop that affinity for books?
My mother, initially, I thought she was really being hard on me.
Right.
Because I remember I was in class 4 when I was reading Anthems of the Savannah by Chinua Achebe.
Chinua Achebe. Right.
Yeah, and some books, Burning Grass and Animal Farm, Jojo Wall.
Right.
Those times, you read a story and you feel there is a story within the story. I like reading a fairy tale when it's just one story and you're reading Arabian Nights, one story and it ends. So it was quite difficult to read, but after reading consistently, I realized that it was something, there is a saying that if you want to be a good writer, you have to be a good reader.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think it's the reading background that I had made me draw the interest to create my own and then see if I can match the books that I've been reading.
You know why I go there? Because I've also read about you, and you say reading. In fact, when it comes to the Homecoming and other books, reading sort of saved your life in a way. It sort of shaped you.
Yeah.
That's why I decided to go there.
Okay. Let me go into that a little. Typically, if you even look at how my family sees me, I'm more like the black sheep. And to be honest,
Okay.
to be honest with you, if not for reading, someone would say Jesus saved my life. Because of Jesus, I changed. You get it? To me, it's more like the passion to create some legacy in literature is what actually changed me. It made me focus that I see it as a priority over certain things that really aren't anymore to me. Yeah, so if not for the love of reading, maybe I did be doing something else where it wouldn't have benefited me much.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe even vice, if you like. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, you can say that.
Right. Right.
say that.
I see you're a bit. You're holding back a bit, but it's okay. It's okay. It's allowed. I mean, it's not everything. I did say bear it all, but if you don't want to bear it all, you can bear some pieces, and we'll take it like that. Arts Africa this afternoon, we have J.K. Knowlife. He is a publisher, he's an author, he's a poet, he's a pencil artist, and much more. Right before we segue from your writing prowess and all of that, and talk a bit about your poetry as well. And there's this collection I want to dig into. Apart from the Homecoming, are there other published works you have?
Yeah, we have. I have The Last of Everything.
The Last of Everything.
Yeah, The Last of Everything.
Right.
I have. These are novel. This is also a novel.
Okay.
Then I have The Silent Streets.
Silent
Streets. Then I have. The rest are really not published, but when you go to the novellas and others, I have the H4 series. Then I have it's a book series.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I have the Paul Again series. Then I have the Time Traveler series. They're all series. And I write strategically because I'm looking at the market sometimes where it can easily sell, because selling novels is quite difficult than selling children books. So some of these novellas and children books are the ones that I enjoy to write a lot from business perspective. So I have a lot of that.
Right.
I have.
So I noticed you had a blog as well. Do you put some of the content there?
No, the blog is new and it's under construction.
It's under construction.
It's under construction. Yeah.
Right. Let's dig into your poetry, because that is your other side when it comes to this literary genre. You write poetry, and I can't help it. I'm going to have you dig into 61 poems for the one I love. Are you the romantic type?
I wouldn't say I'm the romantic type, but I'm a person of the moment.
Mm.
It depends on what I'm feeling at that very moment, what I've heard, what I've seen. It can trigger me. Maybe I'm
Mm.
watching a movie, maybe I'm listening to a song. I can become the character I'm watching, and through the shoes of the character, I can use it to create
So
as
what
my own.
triggered this collection? 61 poems for the one I love.
Strong Points for One I Love. I think I was dating then.
Ha!
I was
I
dating a
knew it.
lady then, and I wasn't so much. I wasn't writing a lot of love poems then. So she wanted a lot of these. Oh, write this for me, write this for me, and through that, I started making collections of them. Yeah,
Did you ever get to show any of these poems to the one you loved?
of course. Yeah, I did.
You did. How
Yeah,
did she react?
she loved them.
She loved them.
Yeah.
Right. Love at Work on Arts Africa. Let's dig into one of those poems, any one of your choice. Maybe we can pick one or two that you'd love to read out for us. So, J.K. Knowlife is our special guest this afternoon. He is a Ghanaian novelist, publisher, and film director, pencil artist, and a man of many things. He wears many hats and successful at most of them. His real name, Adjei Kwesi Boateng. And we're digging into his collection, 61 poems for the one I love. He's going to read a poem or two for us, and we'll get to know what exactly he has in store. You can also, get that collection as well. I checked, I forget exactly where. I didn't know, but I saw that collection on one of your. Is that also on your website?
No, that's not on my website. That's on Amazon.
Aha, because
That's on
so
Amazon.
that's the one I saw on Amazon. 61 poems for the one I
Yeah.
love. That one is already there, but
Yeah.
the homecoming will be there before October
Yeah,
the
and
5th, or
and
by
this is
October
also
the 5th.
there. Paul Again series is on Amazon.
Paul again.
Yeah, Paul Again with a question mark. Paul BM.
Ah,
a
okay.
troublesome
Paul
boy.
again?
Mm,
Right, right. Kind of like Dennis the Menace. Okay, Paul
yeah.
again. So let's check out one or two poems from this collection.
Okay. This one is Forget Me Not. Forget Me Not. Yeah.
Ooh.
And it's if dust cover the trace of my life, please forget me not. I once lived among you, full of words that held the soul. I made my mind for all of you, but my heart shared for two. Forget me not, when the sun melts down the hills, and the quiet fragrance from my love flowers. Remember the last name that removed yours, and forever became mine. A name owned by many, but branded for one. The name that lived to wait my birth. Forget me not when you see kids with bags, hold their hands and full of hugs. Remember me when you taste fewer nutrients on a wild holiday, or when you eat from full grace. Go back and trace our race. Forget me not when the skies are blue and the lands frown at you. Skip all the phrases and ask for grace. Remember my fine cabin with which was for only us. At harvest we loved and dined in it alone, sleeping looking in your eyes and woke looking in your eyes. Forget me not after many years tasting salt, the little kid who started gymnastics in your womb. Remember the highlighted missing kid to man, passing by your house to greet with joy, and received your valued gifts of fruit and toy. Remember me and forget me not when I'm 6 feet forgotten.
Wow. Forget me not, and it's not the plant, it's not the flower. It is in real life. One line that got me though, I made my mind for you, but my heart shared for two. That got me. Because if you've made your mind for someone and yet your heart is torn between that person and maybe some other person, the first thing that came to mind, usually how for a man especially, you have the love of your life, that missing rib, like we call it, and then there's your mother. And it's always a tricky bit. Balance,
Okay.
walking the tightrope between mom and because you can't be too much of this and too much of it's. But anyway, I guess when we do get married, we'll find out even more. But I know exactly what it is, and it can be fun. It can also be unpleasant. So that was "Forget Me Not," one of those poems in that collection. 61 poems for the one I love. You can actually check it out on Amazon. You're a film director as
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
And I know we'll talk a bit about your publishing and all of that, but you're a film director, and I see you actually got this. You won 5 nominations at the Ghana Movie Awards in 2019, only last year, for Kakalika Love, and I found it curious. Kakalika itself, in Chi, would mean what? The cockroach, or is that not?
Yeah.
Because usually that's the context. What was the idea? What was the idea behind that film?
Okay. We are on air, so I'll hold on a lot to that very
No,
question
no. You'll
because
spill.
because there are some. Okay, that very title
Mm,
wasn't something personally I want. I want to be real here.
right,
Yeah, but it works with our movie because it's basically about two characters in love and they were hiding from
right.
letting people know
Oh,
that
really?
they were in love.
Mm,
And they, like Kakalika, cockroach, they're
mm,
always hiding and they don't want people to
right,
know where, like they're always hiding under places to do their stuff.
right.
So it's more like a comparison, their love affair compared to how cockroaches behave.
Have you ever seen a cockroach in love? Anyway, that's a. But did this title did it get any inspiration from Sister Debbie? Now she was in a relationship with one of the rappers, hip hop artists in Ghana, Medical, and Medical left her for Fela Makafui, and she actually came out with a song,
Kakalika
Kakalika Love. Did you get any inspiration from there?
No,
You didn't.
no.
It was spontaneous. Had you even heard the song?
Um, you know, I know you know the controversy that came with
I do.
this very movie, yeah. So, I would rather not want to say much about it because,
Right.
you know, it's a lot. You even had to go to court and all that
Over the title.
over the title.
Mm.
And, Sister Debbie thought the title was because of her.
Right.
Because Fela McCarthy was in the movie too.
Oh.
Yes.
Aha. Okay. Okay. So that was quite. How did you? I mean, in the end, though, you still won with the title. You stood with it.
Yes,
Mm.
yes. We won. We got 5 nominations, and then we won one for best editing.
Right.
Best editing.
Mm.
But as you direct a movie, you assume all the responsibilities when it is good or bad. Yeah, you assume all of it.
Mm.
And I had some issues with the executive producers over their conduct, especially with the selection of the title
Right.
being something sensational, and they wanting to use it as something to really sell a lot.
Right.
And if I'm being real, people who know me will actually know I wouldn't choose a title like this. So it was even part of the reasons when they were even going for the premiere and I didn't go.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I had Jackie Appiah,
Jackie Appiah.
yeah, Kofi Ajololo, Kasum Scenario, and all that, and they were all fantastic people to work with
Right.
in that very movie, and even they were also surprised about the title
Right.
at that very
Like
time.
you said, it's not something that you subscribed to.
Yeah.
But the others wanted it.
Hmm.
Like you said, for maybe sensational purposes. Our newspapers do it. Other outlets do it as well. But in that instance, you had to be whipped into line. Was that your first time getting nominated and winning an award?
Yes, that was my first.
Your very first one. How did it make you feel?
Well, I wasn't even at the Ghana Movie Awards when I saw all the nominations, but I didn't even attend
Okay.
that very period because
Right.
I was doing something else.
Mm.
And the nomination itself wasn't directed at, although I assume most of the responsibilities being the director,
Right.
they were not directly pointing at the director
Right.
being the
Of course,
owner,
but it's your
the
movie that had
recipient.
won.
Yeah.
So.
Hmm.
Right.
So I wasn't actually there because of some of these things.
Right. How long have you been doing this when it comes to film directing?
Actually, that was my first, and afterwards I shot about 4. That was my first.
Okay.
Yes, and
And
afterwards
since
I
that
shot.
time, about 4.
Yeah.
That is pretty prolific because 2019 and 4 after that, when we're in 2020,
Mhm.
that's pretty prolific. So you're finding your feet in there, and you think it's one of the things you want to really get into.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
For film, I'm good in writing, so I usually write a lot of screenplays for the most of the film producers. So I also have been to film directing school already.
Mm,
Yeah, so I would say getting into directing wasn't something I was so interested in.
right.
But with me accidentally having to work on the Kakalika Lab made me fall in love with
You
directing.
say accidentally.
Yeah, accidentally.
I see. Well, sometimes God works in, you could call it accidental ways. Though for him, it is not accidental. For us, we think it's accidental, but
Mhm.
he works his miracles through that. So you've come to love it, and in the coming years, we should expect more from you.
Yeah, you should expect more. Even this December,
Right.
you should expect one movie titled The After.
The after.
Yeah,
Right.
this very December.
Right.
Because of the COVID, we haven't been able to set a date yet, but we finished with the post-production stuff and we're ready to come out. Yeah, and it has Ajay and a few celebrities in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, look forward to that one come December. Maybe something to usher us into the Christmas. The after
Yeah.
from J.K. Knowlife. I'm going to talk about your publishing. Whether you have a publishing house and all of that. But a bird whispered to me, and which I've put on air. You do pencil art as well.
Yeah, I do it when I'm in my room alone.
So this is kind of like a pastime, a hobby.
Yeah, I do it alone.
I hear
And
you did something today. Can you tell us a bit about what you did?
um, it was a freestyle of a ragged man sitting down. Yeah,
Right.
it was a freestyle.
I'm getting into that because only last week we had someone who does same pencil art, pen art,
Mm.
among a number of things, paintings on canvas. You appear to be very versatile, very creative. Again, I'll go back to, is there anything specific in your upbringing, your childhood that you think brought up those in you? Or do you think this is all very innate? It's just you were born with it. You came with these things. And one by one, you're finding, like you did with film directing.
I rather think that everything started from reading books because books will take you to places you've never been.
Mm,
Um, Through the description of the author, you're able to imagine certain places that aren't there, and it shows you new occupations and new things that maybe where you come from they aren't available. And because of this, let's say it opened me to a whole world of possibilities where I started finding my various interests. I feel I will not say I'm talented, but I rather think I'm fortunate enough to have the opportunity to know what I'm good at. Yeah.
okay. That's an interesting way to put it. So it all begins with books. I always go back to that saying, today a reader, tomorrow a leader. So if you want to lead like J.K. Knowlife, start reading something. So we've delved a bit into your writing, your poetry, your film, and we know we should look forward to the after come December. But as we get ready to wrap up, I wanted to go back to this. So you're publishing, yes. Do you have a publishing house? What is it like? Because I go there because a lot of Ghanaians, I publish books as well, as in I self-publish, and it's pretty hectic doing that and the legwork and everything. Is it any different with you? How do you go about your publishing?
My publishing firm isn't the typical publishing firms we have in Ghana here.
How different is it?
What we actually try to do is we are creating characters that we can merchandise. Okay, so we try to create a very good meat around the characters that we have in our various books. And it is not just about we coming up with storybooks, but coming up with books that we can use the characters to do promotionals and then to be in certain places or become accepted in pop culture.
Mm.
That's the basis of it. So we do not do textbooks. We do novels, storybooks, and all that.
Purely
And
literary content.
yes, pure literary content. Yeah, and it's
So
not
if
easy.
someone had a book that they wanted to publish, what's the process to go through? I'm sure some people are listening and thinking, I might have a work that, hey, can I take it to JK No Life? What happens? What's the process?
Yeah, if you have a book you want to publish, all our information is online. It's on our website.
Can you
And
repeat
then,
the website?
yeah, www.readergh.com.
Readergh.com, as in
Yeah.
READERGH.com.
Yes, and so you can send us an email, or you also find our contacts too online, and our contact is +233 020 395
Okay, that was a bit, but if you bring the +233, it means the first zero must go, right? So
Yeah.
+233, 20. Let's go from there.
Two
Plus
zero
two three
two
three
zero three
203
nine five
95
two four
24
zero nine.
009. Okay, so you've got that one. As we get ready to wrap up, I'll take your motivational quote, and that's how we always wrap up the show. It would be about some motivation, someone who has motivated you in the past that you would like to, a quote that you would like to share, or it can be, words of advice that you would like to give to the youth out there. But before we get to that, I just want to run this by you. Why do your friends call you Marshall?
Yeah, I had passion to be in the military initially.
Right.
Yes, and when I was in school, I was much involved in the school navy. Yeah, so
School Navy.
yeah, the school cadet.
Ah,
Our own
okay,
was
sure.
our own was navy. Yeah, so I was
Right.
much involved in it, and when I got out, and sometimes because of my behavior, marshal is like the highest rank in the army.
Yeah.
Yeah, so based on that,
So you were
at
like
my
the
time,
field marshal kind of guy. They look
mm,
at you and like, okay. So maybe there were dreams for you to end up in the army in some way, and you swerved them.
yeah, for writing.
I see. What would you say to young people out there who perhaps want to be like you?
Um, it's simple. They should read a lot. They should read anything they get their hands on.
Anything? Well, there's good content and there's bad content.
Yeah, that's the problem lately. But initially, for anybody to publish a book, it was always, it was probably, uh, those times it was always good. So now there's a lot out there, and it's making it difficult. But I'll say
Right.
they should when they lay their hands on good books, they shouldn't leave it until they finish it. Novels, especially.
So be like some of us. We devour practically everything. We are voracious. I wish I could pull out, but I don't want to sell other people's books on. I mean, just. But there's this book I got only yesterday by Ryan Holiday. It talks about ego being man's biggest enemy. And that's what I've started digging into. I read and I read and I read. And I think you
That's
should
nice.
do too. It will help shape you in amazing ways. So your motivation, right there, a quote or anything right before we wrap up?
Okay.
Our time is up.
What I'll say is anybody having a dream to do something wonderful shouldn't look at what people say or how people have done theirs and failed. They should just go for it and believe in themselves. Yeah.
Go for it. Believe in yourself. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
And that's how we wrap it up today on Arts Africa with Adjei Kwesi Boateng, a Ghanaian novelist, publisher, film director, a man of many things, a pencil artist as well. He goes by his stage name J.K. Knowlife. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
My pleasure.